Hey everyone, this is Chad Agarwal. I'm the owner of Perfect Clicks LLC. We're a digital media company based in Parsippany, New Jersey. We specialize in websites, SEO, development, design, digital marketing, and a whole lot more. Today I want to talk about time management. Being in the service business for the last 9 years, I've learned a lot about how to manage our time on a very small and minute-to-minute basis, but also on a year-to-year and almost a 5-year or 10-year basis. I hope today some of these tactics are really going to help you, whether you're procrastinating at home and just can't get a task done, or you're starting a new job and you need to get more things done quickly, or maybe you own your own business and you want to be more productive and be more profitable as well. So in any of those cases, I have a lot of experience with managing time. A lot of times in our business, getting something wrong is usually going to slow us down by 2 or 3 times versus doing something right and being really good at it and having really strong process is probably going to give you a 5x in productivity. A lot of people are always looking for a 10% improvement or a 20% improvement. A lot of times, if you have really good process, you have the right tools, you have structure in place, you can really improve your productivity by 2 times, 200%, 300%, 400%, 500%. So I really look forward to sharing some of those insights with you and how you can do that as well. But we should always just have a really strong appreciation for time, how valuable it is. And if you do something right, it's going to go really well. It's going to go really fast. You're going to have a lot of speed. Versus if you do something wrong, take 2 or 3 times longer to get something done. For you to actually make up that time or make up that profit will probably cost you 4 or 5 times the amount of work. Let's say I have one article to write and it wasn't done right. So that 1 hour, I could have done one article, it didn't get done, so I got to kind of go back and redo it. So maybe I have somebody edit it, and now they're going to edit it. They're going to spend an hour of their time. You're going to spend another hour editing. And maybe by the 3rd hour, you got something that's really ready to go. In your mind, it might not feel like you wasted all that much time because it's only 3 hours instead of 1 hour. And the truth is, you could have written 3 articles in that time. So instead of having a 300% or a 3x return on your time, you're now negative one article for 3 hours. So the difference is almost like a 6x difference. It's insane how much time we lose by doing things wrong, incorrectly, or just not remembering what's getting done. So if you follow any of the top business icons out there, people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they'll all recommend that you should break your time down into 6-minute increments. You'll hear of lawyers breaking their time down. And so I find that a little too intense. For me, I personally break my time down into either 10-minute or 15-minute increments. It breaks down really nicely because you can tell within an hour, you can get 6 tasks done within an hour. So going back to that idea of really understanding what you're going to be doing, what is your process, what are your tasks, you really need to have everything planned out and laid out the night before. If you know what you're going to do, you're not going to waste time figuring out what you're going to do. So I really think it's important. Break down your time into 10-minute increments and track it. Keep a log. I actually wrote a program on this, on how to, I have a patented software on time tracking. I just use it personally. It's not commercial yet, maybe one day. But what you really want to do is make sure that you're tracking your time, and you'll know where your time goes and you can hold yourself accountable. This is really applicable to any projects that you might be working on or clients that you might be servicing. Also, if you're working in employment in your career, you really want to have a log of showing of everything that you're doing. So that way, if you have a tough boss or a colleague that is kind of trying to make you look bad, you can show where your time, effort, and energy is going. Once you start tracking your time on the minute, the 10-minute or 15-minute or the hourly basis, you really want to make sure that you're tracking on a day-to-day basis so that you're moving the big pieces forward. You should have 2 to 5 really big priorities that you're working on, so you know that those top priorities are getting done. A lot of people sometimes feel like, oh, it was only 1 day or only 2 days. And 1 or 2 days really turns into a week. At the end of the week, you want to be able to say, I've got these things done on each day. And so your log will definitely help with that. But also, when you look at it as a week to week, you know that week is approximately 2% of your year. So sometimes when you're coming into a new company, or if you're joining a new team, or if you're taking on a new project, you really want to make sure that you're moving the big pieces on a daily basis so that you can see progress from week to week. When you start thinking about each week as 2% of your year, you're not going to spend 10 weeks on a project and not make it very far. You want to make sure, hey, I'm spending almost 20% of my year on something. I want to make sure I get a lot done. Which brings me to the next point of having 90-day sprints. I think it's really important to understand the power of a quarter and 90 days. The amount that you can get done in 90 days is astounding. We have turned around our business several times in just a matter of 90 days. I think the 90 days gives you a fresh look on what are the big projects that you're working on, and you can keep yourself accountable. For example, one of our clients that we were servicing for SEO really wanted us to do their social media. We really didn't have a firm social media package in place. And so what we did was, within a 90-day sprint, we made sure that we could service their social media. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. And so that one service really took off, and it really took us about 90 days to get there. Similarly, video was really strongly needed by one of our clients, and we decided to take on that challenge. But instead of taking on that challenge in a week or two or a few days, we gave ourselves 90 days to really understand what we need to do within video to produce exactly what they need. And we actually did it a lot faster, but it's one of our core services as well now. So within 90 days, you can really take big projects and create new revenue streams, create a new business, create new ideas, and continue to build on everything that you're doing. I really highly recommend the 90-day sprints and thinking of your life in terms of these quarters, because you get 4 quarters a year to really make a big difference. Which brings me to the next 2 pieces at 6 months and 1 year. You really want to make sure that you're growing and taking on responsibilities, that you're taking on new services, that you're changing who you are, that you're being a better person at home, that you're doing everything that you can to be better on a 6-month and 1 year basis. And nothing shows that more than 6-month and 1 year reviews. Take a snapshot on an annual basis of all that you have achieved, and you can pick out from your logs what are the big things that you did to accomplish, at the weekly levels, at the 90-day increments. So that way, at the 6-month and 1 year points, you have really concrete deliverables or milestones that you have achieved. And I really strongly recommend doing that at 6 months and 1 year, so you can see how far you've come, and it also helps set you up for the next year. When you're planning year to year, one thing you want to do is try to get ahead of the year. Start your yearly planning in October or November. So by the time the holidays come around and January hits, you already know the plan for the next year. So when January 1st comes, you just start executing. It's so important when it comes to your annual planning to just be ahead for the next year. Most people will start their planning January 1st and try to figure it out. Start executing on January 1st and try to finish your entire year by June. And it's a nice thing to say. And to be honest, I'm not even perfect at doing it. But if you can create that mentality, it's helped me tremendously, because I understand in the next year what are the major targets I need to hit, and I start planning that out a couple months in advance. Lastly, you'll hear this idea of having a season and doing 5 years or 10 years at something, and it might sound kind of intimidating. It might turn you off to just dedicate something for 5 years or 10 years, but I really think you should think of your life in seasons. What you want to do is really understand, what am I committing to? And if you really commit to something for 5 to 10 years, if you spend a season on it, you'll probably find yourself very, very successful in that field, in that industry, that job, that skill, whatever you decide to commit to, you'll probably be very successful at it, and you'll rise to the top 1% of that industry, because most people don't commit to any industry for 5 to 10 years. So right now I'm at year 9. I'll tell you how year 10 goes. So these are my main tactics that I use to track my time. This will help you manage your time on a very granular level on a day-to-day, tracking your time in 5 to 10 minute increments if you can, 15-minute increments. Make sure you're productive on an hourly basis. Get work done, improve your productivity, and that's going to help you have better days. Those days are going to lead to better weeks, which are strong percentages of your year. And then on a yearly basis, you can plan out what you want to achieve it in just 6 months. Keep yourself honest and accountable, and commit for an entire season. If you're doing all these things and thinking these ways, I kind of think when you go to procrastinate for 5 or 10 minutes, it'll make each minute more valuable, because it all really adds up. So the choice is yours. Let me know in the comments below, where do you feel like you need to improve? Do you need time on the day-to-day, or do you need to plan a little bit better in the future? I really appreciate everybody watching these videos. If you could please leave a like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. It's pretty cool to see everybody joining Perfect Clicks, and I wish you all the best, and thanks for watching.